Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of the CanJS Community Hangout. With me as always, Matt. Go ahead and say hi, Matt.
I don't know why I'm always here, but I always do seem to be here. I don't really have
Good
much
commentary,
use.
you know.
Thanks.
And presenting today is Manuel. Go ahead and say hi, Manuel.
Hey there.
And if you want, Manuel, go ahead and tell everybody, where you're from, why you're talking today, who you work for, all that good stuff.
Okay, sure. I'm Venezuelan. I'm currently living in Santiago. I've been working for Bitobi like maybe 5 months now. So I'm talking today because Chris forced me to do. He's pretty good at it. So and what I'm talking about today is about can.view.tag. Josh Josh Martin, sorry. He talk about some advanced can component stuff. And today's week is actually what to use component because it's overkill maybe. So that's what I'm talking about today.
Okay, perfect. Well,
Awesome.
I would say go ahead then and start teaching us all about can.view.tag. I'm excited. Justin actually mentioned can.view.tag the other about a week ago or 2 weeks ago um, during Andrew's presentation. So at that point, I think a lot of people got interested in hearing about it. So it'll be great to hear you dive into it a little bit for everybody else. Okay, you're up.
Okay, sure. Let me share my screen. Sorry. So I don't have any presentation, so I will do this in the console. Hopefully you can hear me and see my screen well. Do I need to blow up my font or something like that? Can you read that?
No, that looks okay.
Looks good.
Okay, sure. For those of you who, I think there are some Venezuelan guys hear me today here, so I'm pretty sure they haven't used CanJS before. My current setup is pretty basic. I just imported jQuery UI because we're going to do some interesting stuff with it later, and the jQuery version of CanJS. So I have this script tag where I'm going to put some mustache templates later. And finally, JavaScript tag where I will put my JavaScript, of course. So let's start with hello world custom component. So I'm going to type. I'm really bad in doing that, so sorry in advance. Okay, where is Sublime? Okay. We have our hello world tag. So what I'm going to do now is to use can.view tag and explain a little bit about the API. And this will be hello world. So the first argument to can.view tag is the tag's name. So before actually talking about it, I checked the spec documentation, and it says that for custom components you should be using a dash. But if you read the documentation, you can also use colons to separate the name. But I really prefer to use dash. I think it looks better actually. So the other thing you want to do is to provide a call. So each time this custom tag is found in the template, the behavior in the function callback will be executed. So the first thing we can do is just to grab this function receives two parameters. The first one is the element, and the other one we will call tag data. We will talk about it later. So we can do just grab the element with the query, and then do something really simple like so let's go to the browser. Hopefully, if I refresh there, okay. Let me try something because that was too small. I have it here for a reason. And we have our Hola Mundo. So let's inspect this real quick, I hope.
I think it's gonna work.
So the elements tab, you can see the hello world custom component, and inside it is the H1. Nothing too exciting. So let's try something else. Other interesting thing about this function is that if it returns data, like I don't know, maybe return first name let's put my name here because I'm cool, and last name. We can do something like this in the custom component. We can do let's use the H1. This will be my first name and my last name.
Ah, very cool. I had no idea that this worked.
I hope it works. It actually works, so it's pretty nice. Your term data it will be used to render the sub template. What in a can component would be the content tag. Sorry, it's called actually sub template inside here. So yeah, that works. These examples are really simple and not really useful, but we can do something interesting like wrapping a widget that already has behavior defined. Like that's the reason why I have jQuery UI, because we are going to wrap the jQuery UI spinner. So let's write a custom component that is called my spinner, and let's close this here. Okay, so what we are going to do is first to change this because it's not like this. And during my testing, I realized that jQuery UI expects an input to be there when you call the actual spinner function. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me do this real quick. All equals, I'm catching just the element. And then what I want to do is to insert an input here. Input, and then find an input.
I think you're breaking up, Manuel, a little bit.
And spinner, and it's perfectly working. So it's time to talk about tag data, because you may want to do something different with the spinner. For example, set a max value or take advantage of the API that jQuery provides. So tag data provides several options. The first one is called scope. So this is actually a can map with the values in the scope where the tag was found. So we also have options, and this is the helpers that you provide to the actual template. And finally, there is tag data.sum template. That's what I was talking about. Is the actual content on the of the custom tag. So it's go by the max value. Can you see what I mean?
Yes. Is the sub template, is that like a function to render the sub template, or what exactly?
Yeah, it's the completed. It's the compile template. So it's actually like calling can.view. You do something like some template. You can pass here the scope data.
Yeah.
This will render the actual content. So yeah, that's some template. And what I was doing was to providing a max value for this through the scope. So for those of you who don't know can.view function, it expects first the name of the template. So that's the reason it works, because I'm using the ID template. You can also pass where is located the actual string. And there are two methods. First object is the scope, and the other ones are helpers. So let's use first the scope. You can provide here a value called max. Let's put it to 5. And then we go to the spinner and we set max to whatever is in the tag data.scope.other. Remember, this is a can map, and you get max here. So refresh. Hopefully this doesn't let you select more than 5. So that's working. The other parameter I said it was helpers. So maybe I don't want this to have negative values for some reason. So let's do something like defining an onSpin function here. And this will receive the event, and they call this variable UI. So the value of the actual spin element is inside UI.value. So if this is less than 0, we can prevent the event. And we can also do something funny here in the console.warn. So, and then in the actual can.view tag, you can just listen to the spin event. Spin event, and just provide the callback that will be in tag data.options.adder. This is helpers dot on spin. Yeah, that's right. So here, let's open up the console real quick. It's still working, the max, and you shall not pass. So let me see that. And that's pretty much what it's the API of the can.view tag. The other thing I wanted to mention that is important is that if for some reason you have a compute outside of the can.view tag and you are listening to events, maybe you are listening to change to update the spinner value, this won't be removed when the custom tag is removed from the DOM. So what you want to do here, it's listen for the removed event of the custom tag, something like sorry, on remove, and actually remove the event these event handlers that may consume something, and you just clean the event handler to register here.
Yeah, you can.
So
Manuel, you can also create computes. I don't think you mentioned this, but tag data.scope.compute will create a can compute based off of any value in the scope. So that's when you would want to use it.
You can do something like what Matt is saying, that I can have maybe value here, and I can bulk compute maybe. I can do something like tag data.scope.compute, and this will be value because I call it like that, and then I can do bulk compute and listen to the change compute and do something, maybe update the spinner or something like that. So yeah, that's it. That's all there is to can.view tag. This week, actually, Matthew and I did something interesting with can.view adder. So I wanted to talk about it because I think it was cool, and so I think relevant because can.view adder and can.view tag can be like mixed, and you need to understand the difference between them. So can.view tag is
one quick, very simple question for you, Manuel.
as you said.
The max that you're passing in, that shows up in the tag data scope, can you just pass that in through the actual tag too, like statically through the tag like you would a can component?
So you say something like max?
Oh, it means through the attribute?
Yep, exactly.
I don't know if that works or not. Well, I mean, you can get the attribute value. I mean, you could always do that.
Gotcha. But it just doesn't automatically come into the scope.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't try that. That's a good question.
Okay, tell us about can.view adder.
No, because you don't really have it's like the scope in which the tag was created. It's not. A component has its own scope, so that's why you're able to pass stuff into the attributes in a component. But a tag doesn't have its own scope. It belongs to a parent scope.
Got it. What's in the options?
That's helpers.
Oh, got it. It makes sense. Okay.
That's the reason why Matt is always in the CanJS community hangouts to sell, to save person I make even try all. So yeah, the difference between can.view adder and can.view tag, and it's you use can.view tag to define behavior, and can.view adder is actually meant to mix in behavior to tags. For example, let's say you have a list of images that are very important and very professional, so I have mine here. So maybe you want those images are not under your control, and you don't want it to break. So you can do something interesting. I already did it here, and the idea is to provide an adder that is called default image. I have it.
Yeah, so what he's doing is he wants to, in case an image
Matt,
is
talk
not
about it.
available, he wants to provide a default image. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's right. No problem. What we want to do actually is can.view.tag. The API is actually similar to can.view.tag. A few weeks ago, we talked about it, so it would be a very good idea for you to take a look at his presentation. So what I'm defining here is the behavior that I want to mix into the image tag in this case when this adder is found. What I'm doing is listening to the error on the image, and if that happens, I'm going to set the source property to whatever you provided in the default image adder of the tag. So I already defined what is the URL for my default image. And if I refresh it happens not because the image just loaded fine, but if I break the source property here, and I do something like this, and I refresh, magic. So that's it. I was pretty cool. So that's all that I have. Any questions? Just be aware that I'll be speaking Spanish starting from now.
Very cool.
No, that was great. I mean, it was such a good, just simple walkthrough of two very powerful tools. And I think you did a great job of presenting them, so it's easy for everybody to follow along and understand how to use them, and not just how they can be used, but how to use them in their day-to-day life. So, awesome, good work.
I have a question, Manuel. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Está bien lejos de aquí. It's far away from here.
Muy bien.
Okay, nice.
And then, so next week, Alfredo, another Batovian, is going to be presenting. So tune in next Friday and find out more about that presentation. We'll post some stuff up on Twitter early next week, details on that. But otherwise, thanks a lot, Manuel. And this is really great. And thanks for Matt and Brian. Brian, your insights are always very helpful. So.
Yeah.
I'm here for.
Okay. Have a great one, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.